joined now by the first person to introduce us to Kate Lethbridge-Stewart. So I'd like to welcome Beverley Cressman. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Alex?
Oh, not bad, thanks. And you keeping yourself busy during all of this?
Do you know what I am? I live in a beautiful part of the world, actually. We've got lovely countryside, so I'm really lucky. And God, there's always so much to do.
Before working on Downtime and playing Kate, how familiar were you with both Doctor Who and the fandom?
Knew Doctor Who very well because I was brought up in like John Pertwee and, after that, Tom Baker. And actually, I do remember, I think my youngest brother was at school with Tom Baker's son, and we thought that was really exciting. So I was that person that would hide behind the sofa. It was the scariest thing on television when I was young. And I used to get nightmares, and I'm sure I ended up under the bed once because I thought the Daleks were going to come upstairs. And of course they couldn't, but they can, can't they? I didn't realise that. But in terms of the fans, I didn't realise until doing Downtime and then going to some conventions what a massive fan base there was. And indeed, filming Downtime, we had lots of fans kind of helping and supporting. It was incredible. Lots of the extras, and all ages too. And, lovely, lovely people and so informed, actually. I mean, people know to the last detail some of the stuff that I just think, God, how do you remember that?
When you were cast as Kate, was that quite daunting, or was it something you just sort of embrace and accept as part of the job?
I think I probably didn't really realise what I was getting myself into in many respects. I was just an actor, and I thought, great to be doing something that was a bit different, and actually the chance to work with lots of different people that was so well known was great. And I think you just kind of get on with it, really. I think that's how I felt at the time, and I don't think I really understood the impact of it until long after.
And how was it working with there's many fan favourites in Downtime, people like Nick Courtney, Liz Sladen, Debbie Watling? How were they all to work with?
Well, I mean, they were amazing because they're all great professionals. I mean, Nick, I had such a soft spot for Nick, and he was just lovely and kind and generous, and we just kind of hit it off. And I think that was, we very much tried to do that kind of father-daughter thing, and he related to and I related to. And Liz Sladen was great and great fun. I mean, she's just dynamo, so much energy. We had some lovely scenes together. And Deborah, just a great professional. I mean, she was just tiny. And I was really honoured, actually. And they were really good to me because I suppose I was the kind of slightly younger person coming into all of this and not as experienced as an actor. And they were very generous with their time and very embracing, actually. I was, not difficult at all, not difficult to work with whatsoever. So I was really lucky.
And there's a lot of sort of backstory between Kate and the brig. How much did you have time to develop that before actually doing those scenes, or was it all there in the script?
Do you know, it wasn't all there in the script. I mean, not at all. So we kind of, I think there was just kind of easy, natural relationship between Nick and I. And I think we just assumed that father-daughter thing quite easily. I mean, I created some things in my head, with my son Gordy, and obviously we were a bit estranged, with the Brigadier, and then, the whole thing about Kate slightly fighting, not trying to take the same path as her dad. And I think what was nice for Nick's character, for the Brigadier, was just showing a softer side. I'm not saying that he didn't do that in the Doctor Who, but he was always having to be, sort things out and be that kind of military man. And I think this was just showing a different part of that, really. So it kind of just naturally happened, I think.
And am I right in thinking that the whole shoot was actually fairly quick? So you didn't always have time to go back and rework some scenes?
No, we didn't. It was pretty fast, actually, fast and furious. This was. I mean, Keith did incredibly well, but this was quite a low budget, even though at times it didn't feel like that. So we had to crack on. So we just had to get on with it. Sometimes it felt like we were spending hours on certain scenes. I mean, Chris Barry was very much like he got on with it, but he didn't feel rushed, strangely.
Because Chris is always seen as an actor's director. Was that your experience of him?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't feel that he ever gave me loads of notes. I think he just tried to see what happened, and I think the way it was written worked so well that he would just let you kind of get on with it. And then it was more, not so much kind of actor scenes in terms of how we were feeling or emotion too much. Everybody was pretty good on that. It would be more kind of technical things about where we were. He just kind of let you get on with it. He's very, very clever.
And I think with any science fiction, particularly Doctor Who, you've got monsters, you've got video effects to be added on afterwards. Was it something quite new to you, all of these various elements?
Yeah, it was actually. I don't think I'd ever worked with anything with so much stuff, and obviously having to recreate reactions when that wasn't there. I always talk about the Yeti in Downtime and having these, and it actually had like bicycle lights were its eyes, and they kept flickering and faltering. And so having to try and look like you're completely like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And actually, it was quite funny because they would just go on and off, like bicycle lights would do, so silly things like that. But it was no, it was great actually, and the things I loved slightly surprised me because that's probably maybe which was helpful for the characters when I had to shoot. Oh, I've loved all that shooting stuff, it's rather worrying, I think, but all that kind of stuff and the special effects and the explosions, that was great. I've got two brothers, so I think it was always, I was a little bit of a tomboy when I was younger, so anything like rolling around, shooting, that was great.
And as you say, Kate was a very strong character, which I think science fiction is full of. Was that, again, all there in the script, or did you push to have more of that sort of Brigadier's influence?
I think it was a bit of both, actually. I think she was fairly strong, but I suppose I suppose that was my little twist. I probably put it a bit more like me, that want to get on with things, and I was willing to be running around doing stuff, and so it was all there. But I think there was this whole idea within the script that she was trying to keep some of that at bay, that natural kind of, not military, but get it stuck in there like her dad would do. And I think I was trying to show how that was coming out too. And there was a bit of a dilemma and a bit of a fight going on in her head, but actually she wanted to do all that action thing.
And of course you then were asked back to play Kate in Demons Rising. Was that a surprise?
You know what, it was quite difficult for me at the time because I had lots of stuff going on in my life, and you know how an actor should say that should never interfere with your filming, and it did a little bit for me at the time. And I had a young family, we'd moved on quite a lot. But it was great. It was great to work with Keith and some amazing people. And what I really thought afterwards in particular was that, there was some amazing special effects that went on, and some stuff that was then, included later on. We've seen, that the BBC's Doctor Who has included some stuff. I'm going, hang on a second, we did that. And that was exciting. There was trying to push a few boundaries for something that wasn't Doctor Who, but was trying to just do a little kind of different side to everything. It was quite hard, a lot of it, but it was great fun.
And do you think that's where, particularly Downtime and Demons Rising, because they weren't Doctor Who, you could perhaps push it a little bit more?
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element of that. Yes, it was, because there were no boundaries. You didn't have those restrictions. But then maybe Doctor Who has gone out of that now, I think, too. I mean, they've done all sorts of amazing stuff that perhaps we never would have done years and years ago. It's really kind of evolved. I mean, we had that great gap, didn't we? Which was why things like Downtime was being produced. And it's interesting. Maybe they obviously got something out of it, because Kate went on to be Kate in the main series. So.
And when that happened, were you ever approached to play her again?
No, I wasn't. I went, no. Listen, I'm a very little fish in a big pond, Alex. So I think and Gemma Redgrave is a fantastic actress, and she's really great. I did think we looked slightly alike actually at one point, but so no, I wasn't. I mean, I'm not of her stature, and actually it kind of happened, and it suddenly happened. I didn't really know much about it. It was only when kind of Keith mentioned it. So, but she's great. She does a really good job. She's a good actress, and yeah, I think it's fab that she's doing it.
Because I think it is nice that there also is an acknowledgement of your work as Kate. I think if anything, she's built upon what you did. You know, it's not sort of starting again, which I think is a lovely way to do it.
Well, that's true. I mean, listen, I don't think she referred to me personally at my performance, not at all, but certainly in terms of the character, and she's got a great take on it actually, which I think is brilliant.
And then I'm right in thinking that you're reprising the role for Anomaly, which is also working alongside Keith. Are you able to say anything about that?
No, it's actually because I'm not sure when we're going to be filming it, to be honest with you. It might be next year now. There's been talk, but I mean, Keith's been really busy. It's incredibly enterprising with all the stuff that he's doing, but he's the man to talk to, Alex, to find out all the details. I know very little.
So this will, Kate will be a part you'll have played for the best part of 25 years.
Yeah.
How does Kate sort of influence what you're doing? Because you keep coming back to this part.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird, isn't it, actually? I think maybe that's probably why Keith originally cast me. Maybe he just recognized me as a persona and as an actress in that part, so it's kind of weird that it keeps coming back. I'm getting so old and cranky, and she's still around. And I know, but it's a great acknowledgement to all the team, the writers and everything, that not only she's carried on in terms of that whole real-time thing, but also that she is in Doctor Who now. I mean, that's incredible, really.
And as you say, at the time you did Downtime, you did a lot of conventions, and you're sort of involved with the whole the fan side of things. Is that something that continues to happen? It comes back to you, I imagine.
Well, funny enough, I haven't been asked to do any kind of conventions. I'd be, listen, I'll tell you now, I'd be willing to come along. I suppose because it's such a long time ago. At the time, there was quite a bit, and I have, done the odd thing, which is great. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm quite a people person anyway, so it's nice to meet people and see what's going on. And in fact, the last thing I did, actually, I think I came down to London to the Doctor Who shop and did some signing, and actually took my younger son, who's called Alex, to see the whole kind of. He'd never been to the Doctor Who shop. He just thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing. We're buying everything. It's incredible. So, it's great that it keeps going. It's amazing, really.
And also, sort of beyond Kate, you also worked on Early Big Finish with Bernie Summerfield. Again, sort of the worlds of Doctor Who. How was it to encounter the medium of audio?
Well, I love doing that, actually, but it's a long time ago as well, Alex. So it'd be great to do some of that again. I have been doing a lot of voiceover more recently. Lisa Bauman's an old mate of mine as well. I've known her for many, many years. So it was great. I think I remember doing a lot of screaming. So it'd be quite nice to do something else besides screaming. But, if you need somebody to scream, I can do it. So, but yes, it's funny how lives change, and like many actors, things you start doing something else, usually to pay the bills. And then, perhaps you can get back to do other stuff. So at the moment, I'm actually resurrecting, God, I can't even say it, more audio work, which has been great, actually. I really love it.
And having, so quite early on done Kate and say The Big Finish, did that then prepare you for things later on that perhaps weren't so model or VFX heavy?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I did all sorts of lots of things. I mean, I was a very jobbing type of actor, and not obviously amazing, but yeah, I think so. I mean, it was certainly doing films which turned out to be, it was a proper film, which we didn't always get much of an opportunity to do, and especially for women, for women actresses, it's hard. There's a lot of us. And of course, women are amazing, and it was a great opportunity, and it certainly helped me in so many different things. And yeah, exactly. I didn't ever have a chance to work with so many special effects as I did in those. That's for sure.
The idea of resurrecting Kate again, is that quite exciting, or what are you sort of hoping to be able to do with Kate now?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. It's going to be well. I think what's interesting now, Alex, is of course we also have another Kate. We have Kate that's in, the BBC's Doctor Who. So how does that work? I don't know. So, she's had a whole life. So, I mean, I think we're doing it that she is, you know, quite a bit older, so which would make sense because I am. Um, so it'd be curious to how it emerges, really. But you know, you need to get a chat with Keith, don't you, and find out what's going on. Get the lowdown from him. That's your next interview.
Well, on the note of things to come, I think it's a lovely opportunity to say thank you very much for your time, Beverley. It's been lovely to talk to you.
Thanks, Alex.